Hey everybody, Merch Hunter Ricky, and welcome back to another installment of Devil Fruit Ideas. I believe this is episode 10, so let's get started right away. We are doing mythical dog type devil fruits. I've found 3 very interesting dog type myths that, 2 of them they're very popular, and one of them I had never even heard of before, and I'm willing to bet neither have you. So let's get started right away with just the base power that all 3 of these devil fruits will be sharing, because again, this is the mythical dog variety. So things that dogs have in common with one another is, enhanced sense of smell, hearing, you're gonna come with the claws on your hands and feet, improved biting, improved running speed, that all of those things are going to be shared by each one of these devil fruits because, again, mythical dog family and just dog family in general, right? So beyond that, you might get like a short attention span as your weakness, dog, squirrel, but other than that, these 3 devil fruits are probably some of my favorite ideas I've come up with, plus one very good suggestions by a very loyal subscriber of mine named Internet Cowboy. He came up with the mythical dog type devil fruit model Fenrir, which I love that. That is so good. I also believe that, technically, if this was to be like a regular type devil fruit, like remove the Fenrir, would be dog type model wolf. I don't know how that would work. I don't know if it would just be the wolf devil fruit. We'd have to look into that, right? But anyways, the mythical devil fruit, mythical type model, or mythical dog type model Fenrir. And, we know him from the Norse mythology of, being the dog that bit Tyr's hand off because he was betrayed in a deal with Tyr and I think Thor. I could be wrong. Also, my memory is a little skewed from having played Assassin's Creed Valhalla, where that's the picture of the thumbnail. So, Fenrir, I feel like your first power would be gigantification. You should be able to access different sizes. Fenrir being a child of Loki and all that, and just always being depicted as a massive, gigantic wolf. I feel like this would be a very cool power set to tip the scales of a mythical dog variety, right? Another one is, I feel like your fangs would count as like massive swords at certain sizes, and you might be able to pull off like that cat, the cat user, the saber cat, what's his name, Who's Who? He was whooping out like finger pistols, but with his teeth, tooth pistol, fang pistol. That was crazy. Was that a form of the Rankyaku? I don't remember, but I'll correct it down below. But that stuff was crazy, and I feel like as a mythical devil fruit user and you're a wolf type monster and you're changing your size left and right, you should be able to just kind of like and just shoot gigantic fang shots at people. And moreover, you could probably utilize it with your claws and all that. Now, another thing you could do is probably smash things with your tail and maybe even utilize your tail with hockey and just like whip that thing around, just smacking people left and right with it. Especially because, again, you're Fenrir. You're not just any dog, Another couple powers, like if I were to name some of them, for example, like with the fangs, let's go back to those really quick. I would name that Fang Ragnarok. And just like split the ground underneath you, something like that. I don't know if you would get improved like vision or anything. I don't think Fenrir had that, but what I do think he would have is like a bullshit detector, like being able to make sure someone's not lying to you. I feel like you'd be able to smell a lie on someone, and I don't know if regular dogs have that ability, right? Like to like test if someone's like blood levels are rising, like their heart rate or something like that. But I feel like just because you're Fenrir and the mythology of Fenrir being betrayed by Tyr and like again Thor or someone like that, like he put his hand inside Fenrir's mouth and they tied him down with Glipnir, and if it did anything he would just take Tyr's hand, and it did something to him, it bound him and he took Tyr's hand. So I feel like being able to sense lies is just like a latent ability of this fruit. Increase super strength, by each level of size you attain. I feel like you would be able to just constantly overpower people with this fruit. Like that would really be like the selling point of this fruit. Like not only are you kind of like Chaka, who we're going to bring up again in this video later. But you would also have something of a San Juan wolf, you know? And with those two, you know, like Chaco is pretty fast and San Juan wolf is gigantic. And now you're mixing speed and size together in tandem. And I feel like that's just really hard to stop. Like super jumping, like you would just be able to just take, you could probably jump island to island at some point with mastery of this fruit, right? And then, you know, you go into hockey applications. If you're literally like a hockey master, who's gonna pierce your fur, let alone actually get down to your skin? Doubt anyone. Hockey coated fangs, it's over. Hockey coated tail, it's over. Improved senses with observation hockey, you are now finding people from miles away, right? You smelled someone once, let's say on Jaya, you'll find them in Fishman Island, which is, you know, gonna be an impressive feat, but because you're gigantic, I feel like you would be able to sniff that far down, just saying. Little you know thing right there. I guess awakening for this, it would be dangerous, right? Because it's Fenrir. So if you were not strong enough to handle the awakening, would he in fact take over? And then that's when you'd have to worry about, like, you know, a full-blown werewolf man with gigantification powers running around rampant versus, you know, what we've been led to believe are like the sleek designs of a true awakened form for a Zoan user. And I'll probably not bring up awakenings anymore in this video, just because they don't really offer much when it's like the mythical variety, because, you know, we don't know too much about them yet. Like the way it seems in Egghead Island is like Luffy's power scales over Lucci's, and we don't really have much more over that other than Luffy is just a better fighter than Lucci, right? For all we know, awakenings and Zoans they require immense training, and definitely something Luffy did have on early on in life is immense training. And you can say the same for Lucci, but Lucci learned hockey in like roughly the same amount of time as Luffy, yet Luffy just dwarfs him in terms of power. And this could just simply be because Luffy's power set within his awakened Zoan form is much different than Lucci's, or Lucci didn't truly tap into it, because realistically I feel like he didn't really do anything that we haven't seen him do before, so he didn't really have a fair showing. And I mean, with Kaku being awakened versus Zoro, like, let's just, you know, call a spade, Kaku sucks, and unfortunately, so neither here nor there. Now on to the next fruit. So the next fruit is the dog fruit model Anubis, mythical dog fruit model Anubis, you know. So Anubis is known as the like guide of the underworld in Egyptian mythos, and a lot of people mistake him for the god of the dead straight up. I forgot who it is, but it's not Anubis. Anubis is like the guide. Now, this is one thing that Anubis would for sure have, is the ability to sense not lying, but like a type of judgment that causes like physical damage to you, or like it might even have an effect similar to the soul fruit of Big Mom's, where, you know, she has life or leave, you know, whatever stipulation she causes, that you have to either face forward with fear, or you get your soul taken out if you actually do fear her versus if you don't. But in this case, this would be like, you know, like judgment, weight of a feather. And that's what like Anubis is known for doing, taking a soul and weighing it against a feather. And if it weighs more than the feather, they're sent to the underworld versus like the field of reeds, I think. I could be wrong on like the naming, but one of them's bad and the other one is good, right? So I feel like in this one, if you are good and you pass the feather test with this Anubis devil fruit user, which I guess he would have to like claw you, or any type of physical contact made with your body, he could do that to you, right? After doing that and you pass the test, you can keep your life. And afterwards, I guess he could pull a Big Mom and take years off your life, depending on how much more you weighed than the feather, which is a really good concept. I think that's what it should be, right? So yeah, we could call that judgment, comma, or semicolon, weight of a feather. And then another power of his, I feel like, would just be outright intimidation. Like you get like almost like Brook, like a ghost form, except this is way scarier. You know, you're like a ghost dog, like just growling, snarling. And I like that, because Anubis is often depicted in either like a very calm looking manner or like when people like pop culture him up, then he's like kind of scary and strong. So let's go for like the pop culture-y style, right? More scary, more strong, more intimidating. I feel like using that as just an expression of your devil fruit would be fantastic, and it would be very fun. Now, do you get a ghost form all the time, or is it just a power of the intimidation? That's up to you, the viewer. You let me know in the comments below. Would you prefer it to be like an active power or a non-active power? And then also, let's say there's other devil fruit users like Big Mom who can control the dead and control souls, right? Would you affect them? I think the answer is yes, and I feel like you would be the superior because you are a mythical type variety. And maybe in the case of Big Mom, you would have to work very hard to be better than her, right? Like Brooke's fruit was different because he was like, his fruit doesn't really make a lot of sense when you think about it. Like, because if he went back to his body when it was fully, not decayed, would he have these ghost powers? It's just something to think about, okay? And, so for you, as the mythical dog Anubis, do you have the ability to guide souls back to their body once Big Mom has displaced them, or once someone like Brooke has scared it out of them, right? Or, let's say there's another type of devil fruit user out there, which I am adding, like it's on my list of devil fruits, so we'll add this into a future video, like the voodoo fruit or the hex fruit. You cast a curse on them and they're stuck in like a ghost form. Would you be able to help that? Would Moria ripping shadows out, would you be able to affect that, right? Would you be able to tell that they've had their shadow taken? Would you be able to give the shadow back regardless of where it is, because you are the patron of souls? And in a way, shadows and souls in One Piece are more or less the same. They're not entirely the same, but in a way they function the same. So would you just have domain over all that kind of life force energy? I can't really think of a lot of other powers for Anubis. I don't really know too much about him other than that. But if you have any more ideas down below, let me know. But for now, I'm just assuming, like, I'm just taking it as like a dog type variety of Brooke's fruit, right? A mythical dog variety of Brooke's fruit. And that would be the dog type model Anubis. Now, the next devil fruit would be mythical dog type variety Arales, which this is the very first time I'd ever heard of this myth, and I really like it a lot. It's an Armenian myth where a winged dog would come down to a battlefield and lick the wounds of a fallen soldier and bring them back to life. So you would have, like, I feel like you'd be almost like Chopper style in this devil fruit. You would get regular human form, hybrid form, just the dog mode, hybrid form, dog with wings, and then full Arales form, right? And maybe you always have the wings in hybrid form, so that would remove the regular dog form, but I feel like you should be able to control it. So anyways, yes, this is a winged dog that would come down and lick the wounds of fallen soldiers, bringing them back to life. I know I just repeated myself, but like saying it is crazy. Whoever thought of that is a very creative person, and this dog is the goodest of good boys ever. So obviously you have healing saliva is what I'm gonna call it. So you have the ability to lick the wounds of people directly for a very strong healing capability, making you a mix of Marco and Mancherie. Mancherie being the Tontada princess back in Dressrosa, for those who don't remember, because so many characters in One Piece come and go. Marco's a little bit more of like a mainstay at this point, right? Even though he's had not a lot of screen time, he's certainly had more than Mancherie. But some other powers to consider, right, is can you like flick the saliva? Like, I know that's kind of gross, but like think about it. Like if you're flicking saliva at someone who just had like tons of wounds applied to their body and they're like passing out on their feet dying, you can heal them almost instantaneously. This would allow you to, wow, I just kind of spit a little bit. Yeah, just like that. Spit a lot in like a large radius, right? And then you're able to like constantly heal your battlefield soldiers. Like Chopper would love this fruit in his, like, as a friend of his, right? You would also, I think, as an awakened user, I know I said I didn't want to bring them back up, but just for this one, I guess an awakening would allow you to heal your own wounds, because it doesn't say in the myth that they can heal their own wounds. But I feel like proper training, you should be able to allow it to affect you as well. Or it could just be an interesting caveat of the devil fruit. I can't heal me, but I can heal others. And, you know, that's what makes One Piece so great. Having different types of devil fruits that do these different type of things, and sometimes they have weird rules and restrictions, like not being able to heal yourself despite being able to heal others, or, you know, like this one comes with wings. So like how often can you fly? Do you incorporate that into your power set? I would say so, right? You know, being able to transport people while flying, that's broken already. We've seen how good that was with Luffy and Pell and Baby 5 and Buffalo, just stuff like that, right? But you as the Arales, I feel like you would be able to sense with your improved senses, you would get an extra additional improved sense to know if someone's wounded, especially if it's someone you've like already sniffed before. Like, so in a way, kind of like Bon Clay, but not copying them, just like smell memory. So like, let's say you smelled Luffy recently, got a good old sniff, and you're on the same island as him still. Let's not make it too broken. You're on the same island as him, and he just took a wound. You would be able to like smell it in the air, like Luffy's bleeding, I have to go to him. Like you would have that like ingrained sense of loyalty because you're kind of like a support type devil fruit already. And look at how Marco has constantly been shown using his devil fruit to protect other people and, you know, use it to like take tons of damage while healing himself. In a way, it is like almost like a selfless type devil fruit. Now, you wouldn't be invulnerable to damage because the power of this devil fruit required you to have already sustained some. Whereas like Marco's devil fruit, for him, he's just constantly regenerating. Like maybe he might feel the pain, but he's just automatic, like it's auto regen. He just auto does it. And then it shows him healing people on Sphinx Island. Like I don't think we see them directly healing them, or maybe he just knows, you know, good medical skills. Either way, I feel like he can heal people with his fire, just not, you know, like to an extent at this type of devil fruit that I'm suggesting for you can. So all in all, I genuinely love this Arales type myth. It is from Armenia, and again, it is a winged dog that comes down to the battlefield to lick the wounds of fallen heroes and bring them back to life. And really, I can't think of too many powers outside of just the saliva and the wings, because already that's pretty crazy, right? Maybe you could do something like, and I know it's kind of weird, but like the tongue has like elasticity to it. And I feel like just because, you know, it's one piece, there would be some sort of wacky iteration. And going back to the Anubis fruit too, I'm sure if Oda introduced an Anubis fruit, he would have a much better take on it than I did. But, you know, let me know down in the comments below if you like these types of devil fruits that I presented here today. I know I did, but that's just me. I'm pretty biased when it comes to myself. But go ahead and let me know if you have any ideas, improvements, or suggestions down below. Also, I have now opened a Ko-Fi, and I'll have my PayPal directly linked below. Just a little bit of support to the channel if anyone wants to offer it. I would really appreciate it. It's just there are supplies I need right now that I can't afford due to not having a job currently, and I'm actively looking for work, but keeping this channel going is rather expensive, so any support that you can muster, I really appreciate. And furthermore, if you want your own devil fruit idea presented in one holistic video as opposed to having to wait for me to pick your devil fruit and then, you know, you have to wonder if I'm going to use it, now you don't have to. Hit up my Ko-Fi, just pay the regular, whatever the support amount is. I think it's $5 for the basic, and I might even consider lowering it to $3, but for now it's going to be $5. So $5. I offer a longer than 10-minute video, depending on the type of devil fruit you ask, because, you know, some of these can be very simple. You know, you want someone to be a spatula man or something like that. That's not going to take long, right? But if you want a more complex video, still $5, just depending on the time. Obviously, what will happen from there is, if you want, you can just reach out to me through my email in my description, and you can hand me the idea you want, and I'll take it with it and run it, and I'll make a whole video on it, guaranteed to appear in my next devil fruit video, but it will be its own video. So it won't be like with another two devil fruits. It'll be its own devil fruit. It'll be its own section playlist, and it'll be just like user submissions, but, you know, of the paid variety. So that's just an option for you if you want to explore that. Anyways, have a good afternoon, everyone. My name is Merch Hunter Ricky, and I really appreciate all of your comments, all of your subscriptions, and all the views. So have a good one.